Howdy, y'all. Welcome back. It's the weekly wrap up for September 10th, 2021. I hope everybody had a terrific week. It's been beautiful here in Colorado. Weather or the air quality has been a little crappy, but other than that, it's been nice. We're due to get a little cold weather in a couple of weeks. So I think our last 80-degree day will probably be in the next week or two. So that's something to look forward to. Most of y'all down in Texas are probably still sweating your butts off. So it's the way it is, unfortunately. So it's definitely been an interesting week with politics and the markets and everything else going on. So I hope everyone has not lost their minds or gotten too crazy. But let's go ahead and let me share my screen. So just give me a second here. We'll go with that. Share. All righty. Okay, well, let's look at the news for today and see what's going on just in the regular world. The first big announcement, this was from last night. President Biden put out an executive order mandating that companies with more than 100 employees are required through OSHA. I'm not sure how that is going to work. That they are required to have either vaccinated or tested employees. So I don't see this. I don't see that this is going to go very far personally, but we'll see. I mean, if anything, it's going to create a lot more libertarians like me who are fed up with the government. So I say keep doing it. Why don't you raise taxes to 50%? Something's got to piss off people to get them as mad as I am. So, all right. Next, the Biden administration sues to block Texas abortion law. I don't know why the rest of the country is getting so worked up about this. I don't know. It's crazy. So, I mean, it's, what's funny is in these two headlines right here, one, the government wants to, say what you can or cannot do with your body. And then in the next one, it's saying that the state has no authority to say what you can or can't do with your body. So it's the inconsistencies of, Democrats or Republicans just cracks me up. It's, you can terminate a pregnancy anywhere from conception to birth in some states, but they get worked up because you won't take a shot because of a cold. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. All right. Biden calls Xi as U.S.-China tensions rise. I don't know. I think this is more kabuki theater personally. I think we're working in tandem with those folks. 200 foreigners leave Afghanistan on Qatar Airways flight. That's good news. It's always good to get more people out of that chaotic zone that they're in. Let's see here. McCarthy asked Supreme Court to reject House proxy rules votes. I hadn't seen anything about this. So let's see here. Proxy rules votes. The House started using safety measures during the coronavirus pandemic, although Republicans have used the tool to their advantage at times. McCarthy said that the court should reject it to end what has been described as a House Speaker Pelosi's perpetual proxy voting power grabs. So I guess people are voting when they're not in the chamber, I guess is what is going on there. So EPA to restore protections for Alaska's Bristol Bay. The EPA said Thursday it would restore protections to Bristol Bay. The policy change will block the construction of a controversial gold mine near the world's largest sockeye salmon run. The mine's opponents, who include Alaska Natives, environmentalists, the same people always, argue that the mine project unnecessarily threatened a salmon fishery that is both an important food source and a tourism magnet. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of I'm not a big fan of anything the federal government does. So, veterans more likely than average voters to back Afghanistan withdrawal. Well, I can say that's definitely true. I'm a veteran myself, and sending our boys over there to get killed is not my idea of freedom and liberty. I have no problem with defending the homeland, but going over to other countries and drone bombing, hospitals and children, Obama, it makes me nauseous to even think about. So, our military is used more for settling scores for our government than anything. So, all right. Judge blocks Florida's anti-riot law. A federal judge on Thursday blocked Florida from enforcing its new anti-riot law enacted after the George Floyd protests, calling it unconstitutional. Let me skip down. see. Oh, says that it was vague and overbroad and violated First Amendment rights of free speech and assembly, as well as constitutional due process and protections by threatening criminal charges against peaceful protesters who happen to be near a demonstration that turns violent. I mean, I see the point there. I mean, if you're just protesting and you're not causing harm, I don't think those folks should, see any sort of enforcement against them. Now, if you're standing in the middle of the freeway, I drive an F-350 and I'll just run your ass over. So I don't care. Yeah. So, I mean, there were flaws in that. I remember, it's been several months since this was discussed, but, stay out of the road. Police reinstalling security fence around the Capitol before a rally. See, they're planning next week's planned Justice for J6 rally by supporters of the 600 people charged for their alleged roles in the deadly January 6th riot by a mob of former President Donald Trump supporters. Oh my God. Why didn't they bring any guns if they were trying to take over the government? Mystery. LA School Board votes to require vaccines for all students 12 and up. I don't know why parents are still getting pissed off about this. Take your kid out of school. That's the easiest solution. Teach them at home. They're probably going to have a better time anyways. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump over to the financial news, now that I've rambled on for 5 minutes. All right. Producer prices rise more than forecast. I'm going to touch on that in a minute. S&P and Dow fall for the fifth straight session. Oil rebounds 2%. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's right now trading around $70 a barrel. Let's see. European stocks pair gains to close lower. So it's been kind of a mixed week. It just has been kind of ugly. All right, well, let's go and see how our indexes did for the week. The Dow Jones was down about 2.2%. S&P down about 1.6. NASDAQ, had a bad day today. Down about 1.34. Dow Utilities down almost 2. It looked pretty good midweek. And then the Dow Transports. Yeah, everything across the board. So I'll be curious to see what the numbers for Europe were on Monday. So this was down 2.44. So, it is definitely been a rough, from a market perspective, it definitely looks like there's some instability. Let's pull back and see what things look like on the longer trend. Let's go to the daily chart. Here we go. All righty. So, yeah, we can see here that this trend line right here is the support line for the Dow Jones. And you can see where it has, kind of crossed over this trend line. So, what I'm looking for is like back here a year ago where, we crossed, it just blew right through it. This should be your signal that it looks like the market is about to, the trend is changing and, need to recalibrate for, potentially, whether or not it's several months or a year downturn like we had back in 2008. So, I'm open to whatever happens. I'm just going to deal with whatever the charts give me. But, I am a little concerned right here, like I said. So, all righty. Well, let's go ahead and look at the job numbers. Job numbers came in under forecast. The actual is 310. The forecast was 335. Or I'm sorry, came in better than forecast. Came in under. The forecast was 335,000. Let's see what last week's numbers were. They were revised up to 345, which would have been right on the target. Let's look at the continuing jobless claims. Came in at 2,783,000. The forecast was 2,744,000. So just a smidge higher. Last week's numbers were revised up from 2,748 to 2.805 million. So again, the trend is going in the right direction. Until that changes, I'm not really going to get too concerned. Now if this executive order has any weight to it or any teeth to it, this could really cause some real problems in the job market. And I don't want to hear anyone say, just go get your shot. I'm not getting my shot. So, but I also am self-employed, so I can do whatever the hell I want. All right. I know I've been talking the last few weeks about the rig count. the week of the hurricane, count went down by about 16 rigs, and now we're back up to 401. So now that the storm has passed, it looks like they're getting, they've got 7 more back online from the week before. So again, this will help gas prices over time, but it's going to be a slow slog until we get back up into that 600 or 700 rigs operational at a given time. So, all right, and let's see here. U.S. Core Producer Price Index was up 6.7% against a forecast of 6.6. And we can see how this inflation going back about 10 years. This is the worst we've seen in, at least in this decade and probably since the 70s. And the producer price index without or including food and energy is up at 8.3%. The forecast was 8.2. So again, I'd like to see this start trending back down, but I just don't see that occurring anytime soon. So let's go ahead, and there's an article I want to share with you guys. Comes from, let's see here. All right. Comes from the New York Times. This it's titled, "The United States Could Default on Its Debt in October, Janet Yellen Warns." Starts out, this was from September 8th by Alan Rappaport and Jonathan Wiseman. "The United States could default on its debt sometime in October if Congress does not take action to raise or suspend the debt limit," Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned on Wednesday. "The extraordinary measures that the Treasury Department has been employing to finance the government on a temporary basis since August 1 will exhaust next month," Ms. Yellen said in a letter to lawmakers. She added that the exact timing remained unclear, but that time was running out to avert an economic catastrophe. Once all available measures and cash on hand are fully exhausted, the United States would be unable to meet its obligations for the first time in our history, Ms. Yellen wrote. To delay a default, Treasury has in the last month suspended investments in the Civil Service Retirement and Disability Fund, Postal Service Retiree Health Benefits Fund, and the Government Securities Investment Fund of the Federal Employees Retirement System Thrift Savings Plan. Whew, that's a mouthful. All right. The distribution of pandemic relief payments this year and uncertainty over incoming tax payments this month have made it more challenging than usual to predict when funds will run out. Ms. Yellen said that that a default would cause irreparable harm to the United States economy and to global financial markets, and that even coming close to defaulting could be harmful. "We have learned from past debt limit impasses that waiting until the last minute to suspend or increase the debt limit can cause serious harm to business and consumer confidence, raise short-term borrowing costs for taxpayers, and negatively impact the credit rating of the United States," she wrote. So it looks like we have about a month to get this figured out. So, I know I harp on this all the time, saying that I'd love to see a politician actually come, to the table with solutions like, "Hey, we're $30 trillion in debt. How about we start paying that down? Nah, let's go ahead and put in a pool and buy some new cars. That would be more fun." So, my personal guesstimate of what's going to happen is everyone's going to continue to kick the can down the road, and eventually this car, the engine's going to seize up on this thing, and we're going to be stuck in the middle of the highway. So, it's going to be ugly. I've talked about this a lot with clients over the last year that, unfortunately, there aren't a lot of, politicians that are going to campaign on, we're going to pay down debt, we're going to cut benefits, we're going to cut the federal workforce, we're going to get rid of all these things so we can get our financial house in order and, get things back to where they should be. So, I don't mind paying taxes if it's actually going to something that, is for the common good of the nation, but paying for welfare and all these other stupid things, free college and funding, all these, 3-letter programs, and plus all of the military spending that our taxes go to, it makes me sick. So anyways, I'll attach this for your reading pleasure and in the show notes. So if anyone has any questions for me, feel free to send me an email, give me a call. But for the weekend, go out, get some sun, get some exercise. I got my 3 weightlifting sessions in this week, so nice and strong, and eat some good food, and just get a lot of rest and stay healthy. That's my best advice for folks: is take care of yourself, and everything else falls into place. So, all right. Well, everyone have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back on Monday with the weekly economic update. And like I said, if anyone needs anything, just feel free to reach out to me. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this with friends and family. And have a terrific weekend, guys. Bye-bye.